Do you wanna start a cult with me?
Often imitated, never duplicated. DirtyKenzo Productions.
And we're live. What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 16 of Convos, brought to you by DirtyKenzoproductions. I, as always, am your host, Murph, aka the Dirty Kenzo. Hope everybody's having a good day. Convos is our talk show. We have one Tuesday night, 8 p.m. where we're at right now. We also will be starting to do Friday at 4:20 p.m. It was a music show. We'll be turning that into a panel talk show as well. Live podcast, you know, any fuck ups, they will be here. We don't edit, we don't delete videos, all that, you know, everything gets left up. And as we always like to do, anyone that clicks the panel, you are responsible for what you say. I will not take any blame for anyone other than Queen Kells, of course. But people got to be responsible for what they say and do. We always point a finger to everybody but the people who hurt us. So let's jump in the chat and say what's up to everybody first and foremost. If I could stop fucking stuttering. Victor Coco, Murph, did you see game 5? I didn't, but the Denver Nuggets won, I'm aware of. Yeah, I wasn't too, after the Sixers were out, I kind of stopped paying attention. But salute Victor Coco, always shows a lot of love. Appreciate you. Chucky Bills is in the building. My Queen Kells, appreciate you, boo. There's the link, guys, after this little monologue. Anyone who wants to come up, feel free. This is our show lineups. Definitely check out Nostalgic Breakfast, guys. We'll be doing one, or as my brother King Troll says, narcissistic breakfast. But we'll be doing a Father's Day show this Sunday, 10 a.m. right here on the Dirty Kenzo. We had pretty much the entire list as requests made by listeners. So if you guys ain't doing nothing Sunday morning, come through and say what's up. Mrs. Ivy is in the building. Good to see you, Ivy. Janine, great to see you. Thank you for coming. I'd like to say hi to everybody. Yeah, right, babe. But I appreciate everybody. Like I said, the link's there. I'm just gonna talk, play shit until then. If anyone wants to come up. This will be a short one. I am expecting a phone call. Who God knows when that'll come. It came when I was on a panel. I called right back and didn't get an answer. So gets to be a little frustrating. But as I said, the link's there. Anyone wants to come up, feel free. Shoot the shit. Talk a topic. And as always, I hold the right to exclude anyone I please. Sometimes that gotta be said. I don't really exclude many people, but if you don't get along with me, it doesn't make sense for you to come up here. This ain't Geraldo. Take a toke. People's 212 in the building. Thursday in the building. Hope everybody's having a good day. Yeah, excluding the weirdos. Exactly, Queen Kells. That's a whole fact. Victor Coco, I'm hearing there's a rumor the Sixers may get Bradley Beal. I'm really hoping so on that. Miss Diana. You are hearing the smooth jams of DirtyKenzoproductions. This song will be out soon. It's called Mayfield, inspired by the legend Curtis Mayfield. Getting funky with the cheese whiz. I don't know why I said that. Oh, some bars. Another day, another dollar, rubbing all my empty pockets with my dude. What come through so I could get a little profit. Oh, shit. I don't think they're ready for that. Adair's in the building. Good to see you, Adair. Appreciate you as always. Salute to the coat. Thank you for the share. We all about pushing them good vibes, ladies and gentlemen. We ain't about that bullshit. We can get on the bullshit at any time. We are well versed in the bullshit, as they say. But what fun is that? You can't play a ripping solo if you're bitching. Hit it, boys. Hope you guys are having a happy and healthy Monday. It's 8:08 on the East Coast. We ain't doing nothing special, just the regular hangout shit. Give me a little trumpet. Make sure you guys are getting comfy. Any topics you guys want to talk about, hear my opinion on, feel free to drop them in the live chat. If the music's louder than my voice or my voice louder than the music, let me know that as well. Please and thank you. That's Queen Kells on the saxophone, y'all. Queen Kells on the saxophone. That's Chuck on the electric guitar. Go ahead, Chuck. Show him what you got. It is Tuesday. Thank you, Thursday's child. It isn't Monday, everyone. It isn't Monday. That was fake news. R.I.P. to Curtis Mayfield. That man was a musical genius. Very underrated. I gotta get these damn songs out. I keep giving you the teasers, but you won't hear the full versions yet. Hope you guys are doing good. We're just a few minutes away from getting the show fully in swing here. Again, any topics you want to hear me talk about, feel free to drop them. Until then, I have some stuff as always. But you want to hear the Kenzo's opinion on some shit? Make it known. Hey, P3. Thursday. Apparently, I don't know my days of the week. Hi, everyone. I've noticed that YouTube is like a minefield. You never know when you're going to get... I mean, it is true. It'll go from a chill... You can go from a chill live where nothing's really going on, and then 5 fucking minutes later, people are screaming at each other. That's very true. Hey, there we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Welcome to episode 16 of Convos. As always, I am your host, Murph, aka theDirtyKenzo. Hope everybody's having a great day. I'm sending good vibes to everybody. I hope you are hearing that. I hope you are feeling that. As I said, this will be a short episode. If anyone wants to come up, feel free. I am expecting a phone call, things of that nature. I still haven't eaten dinner yet, slacking. And plus, the Brother King Troll's on, so if anyone's popping over and showing them love, please feel free. Please do so. Make sure you guys hit the like button for me and for him as well. I hope everybody is having a good day. Ivy, I hope Rich is okay. We texted each other the other day, but I haven't really talked to him as much. Clowny is in the building. Clowny is welcome in here. Clowny says that. He says, Clowny, welcome here. I like that. That's how you walk in a room. Am I welcome here or not before I even sit down? Should I even dust my unicycle off? I don't know. That was a clown joke. It wasn't a very good one. I hope everybody's having a good day, though. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I wanted to... I just don't want to miss... if I don't go. You know what I'm saying? If I don't do the live, then, I can't get the consistency I'm looking for. And you got to stay pretty consistent. So I think that's... been my problem the most since I've been on YouTube is that consistency. I mean, even when I first started, 420 was a Monday to Friday show, 420 to 6 every day, Monday to Friday, and it got draining mentally, physically. It got to the point where it was physically draining, but it's so mentally draining. There were days where I was coming on with no topics, no end game in sight. So it's just going, and when you're just going, sometimes it's a little discombobulated, I guess is the word. But looking in the old thesaurus, the old word we'll use this time. But yeah, it gets to be very overwhelming. You're absorbing a lot of information. If you have a chat with 20 people and everyone's chatting, and as I was just saying with the dare, sometimes it can change so quick. And when you have that anger or aggression in a chat and everybody's feeling that, well, that's like hell on earth. I mean, you could barely read what's going on in the chat. You pop in and you're getting, go fuck yourselves. And you're like, look, I'm just coming in to say hi. What's going on? So you need that consistency, definitely. And it's something I could say I've definitely slacked on. Hey, I feel you there. Appreciate that. But it's just, YouTube, I try to tell everybody, there's a lot of people on YouTube. I mean, just in this chat alone, we're looking at people from Australia. We have P3 here, Australia. Chuck's down south. I know Ivy's the Northeast. I'm in the Northeast. Miss Bobby, Thursday. Like everybody, we're all over the place. And that's just a microcosm of what YouTube has in general. And you got to remember, there's a lot of people on here. There's a lot of different personalities. More every day. Live chats like this, open that door to more people to join. Think of that. Somebody is YouTube ignorant like we used to be, where we used to be like, oh, wait, there's live chats where people talk every day. I know personally, I didn't know that. I got into this through the Philadelphia Eagles. I was following Eagles content creators, and in the off season, they were doing live chats together. And then I just started to see the community where you could form up from it. And I was, around the same time as trying to decide what I wanted my niche and my content to be. But yeah, I seen the live chats pretty early on, and try to understand them as much as possible. But like I said, there's so many different personalities on here. You know, people, the way we talk maybe throws some people off. I heard someone the other day get offended on a channel because someone called them my G. And I say that all the time. So I'm like, damn, have I offended someone with that? Like, I never thought it would be offended. Where I come from, that's like a compliment. So to hear someone was offended, it made me, you know, take a step back. Like, damn, did they ever get offended over me calling them that? You know what I mean? So it's like, where there's 100 people that'll understand it exactly how I mean it, there's going to be 50 people that interpret it a completely different way. Just trying to catch up with the chat a little bit. Okay, Clowney in Florida, down south. Okay. Clowney is real. YouTube is ignorant, and that's why I appreciate all you guys. Definitely. I mean, I tell everybody that I do understand there has to be a place for the negative, the toxic. Like, people are going to want that. The numbers show that, like, people watch that. But to me, there always has to be the yin and the yang, the dark and the light, and there has to be these channels where you could go where it's positive. It's funny, too, because I always used to say I was a hood hippie. And my friend's like, you're not a hippie, you're not passive. You know, but I say that in the sense of we're just trying to keep things like real peaceful, easygoing, trying to accept everybody, try to understand people. But on the same token, when it comes down to the come down, I could argue, debate, or curse out a motherfucker with the best of them. So I do still hold those intangibles. But it's, you know, when we're in a room together and we start talking about things, you know, pride, not boastful pride, but just being proud of who you are, what you represent, what you've been through, what you've done. I think that word has been so tainted over time because of people who were egotistical. Egotistical people have really tainted the word pride, I would say, because I do believe it's acceptable to have a level of pride. You should have pride in, let's say, your personal appearance, your family. Some take pride in their education, the way they speak, things of that nature. Larry Beach is in the house. Everything we say gets taken two ways, a thumbs up and a thumbs in. That's a fact. That is a fact. But, you know, it just, when we're in those zones where we're talking about, you can almost feel like the electricity of it. You get a buzz from it, sometimes with the positive content. And now the negative content, you do get maybe that buzz, but I don't know if it's from the same chemicals. I feel like one is, it's more adrenaline based, if you will, you know, when you're feeling like you're in defensive mode, backed into a corner. Someone says this, I have to defend myself. I have to, you know. What, Larry? Eagle. I don't know what the fuck Larry's talking about. You working, Larry? Go serve them. Go serve them. Those patrons. They're waiting to eat, sir. Speaking of patrons, how about Patreon? Check out my Patreon. Selfless plug. I got a tier starting at $4.20 a month. The live cat is sleeping. He didn't want to join the show tonight. He said, "No, I'm off tonight, boss." But yeah, you know, when you can, as soon as Adair said, sometimes the temperature can change so fast, and you'll see that everybody could be in a chat loving it, and then just you know, an argument breaks out, or someone misunderstands somebody, and it just becomes hell. And then you're like, wait, what? Weren't we just fucking doing something here? Like, what just happened? And I've been part of those whirlwinds. You try to control it as much as you can. Obviously, you have no control over anything. I think that's something people really need to remember and realize on here. We don't really hold much power over. I mean, I won't say much. We don't really hold power over anyone else. So if you're on a panel and you tell someone to shut up, or if, I mean, I think that's one of the greatest examples. When you're telling someone to shut the fuck up, I'm talking. It's like, are you paying my phone bill? And then you shut the fuck. You know what I mean? So it's like, you're always going to run into those things, and it doesn't matter how positive the content is. You're going to feel those ripples. You're going to feel that ripple effect. It's not easy to stay positive every day. I deal with that fucking demon every day. I wonder if some of you guys do. You know, aspiring to be a more positive, you know, happier person. And then you still have those down days. And then I wonder, of course, you know, peel another layer off the onion. Is that a form of, is that my depression that does that? Is it a form of bipolar? I mean, so many of us have a different trigger or a different thing. You have to peel back that onion, peel back a layer or two and see, hey, is there a reason I can't stay consistently happy? I don't think people do that. I don't think people take a step back out their own shoes and try to look at it a little differently. There's a big accountability problem online. Some people will never admit they're wrong, never admit they wronged someone, or never take their side of blaming things. It gets to be crazy when you deal with it a lot. But then again, no one controls this device but you. You have one click of a fucking button and they disappear. They don't exist. It only breeds what you let it. Someone comes in here with an ignorant opinion. It gets no life until I feed it. It gets no legs until you feed it. Feed it cold, starve fever. You know what I mean? Hope everybody's having a good one. We're just kicking it here, I guess you would say, freestyling a little bit. Just keeping the show rolling.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Well, I'm sorry, Sweet Brown. I forget what her name is. Sweet Brown. Jesus Christ. All right, guys. We're gonna give you a little bit more music here real quick while I take a small break, and we'll come right back to the topic. Make sure you're hitting the like button. You are watching Convos right here on the Dirty Kenzo. This is Rise. This is Combos. You're listening to Rise by DirtyKenzoproductions. Drop anything you want to hear my fucked up opinions about in the live chat. Appreciate you guys. Hope everyone's having a good night. All right, guys, and we are back. Thursday. Tempt yourself away. Tempt yourself away. I think, as I said, that word pride, we're back, guys, by the way. I think that word pride has been so tainted that you can't even say you're proud. It's become a sin, let's be honest. It's one of the 7 deadly sins. If you're religious, then that kind of puts a fork in the road for you, I would imagine. But it's, where do you separate pride from ego? Do you need a level of pride? You should be proud of the things you accomplish, proud of your family, proud of your lineage, whatever. But you also, you have to find that fine line where it's not egotistical. I could speak firsthand what happens when an ego gets out of control. Many of you guys have been around for a while, and 2 years ago, my ego fucking swelled that I thought I was something special, and little thing called reality had to come and smack me back to back to my fucking place where I belonged. But it was so easy for that ego to just take over. Like it's like a little voice in the back of your head, and it's like, oh shit, people listen to what I say, or people watch me, or they like my music picks, or whatever the case. And you start to, it starts to build and build on itself, and it can become very detrimental to you. It can become very dangerous. It could end friendships, relationships, things like that. And if that's not what you're after, of course, then you don't want that to happen. But like I said, speaking personally, I can tell you it's not hard for that to start compounding. It stacks up on itself. If you guys are cool. We're about 2 hours out of Philly now. So we were in Kensington till about 4 years ago, I want to say. 4 years ago, about almost now. Three and a half. We made the move out by Knoebels. As us in Philly would say, we moved up the mountains. But yeah, it even goes back to the point of there, because with lacking that pride is going to keep people in Kensington. You know what I mean? Like, there's people, I tell this to everybody who watches any videos with Kensington involved. You see the addict, you see the drug dealer, but you don't really see the normal working class or, school children. You don't see a lot of that. And, that fucking neighborhood will really, really put a burden on you. You just carry the weight. There's a smell in the air. But you just, I know when I went down with Frank the last time, I hadn't been there in about a year at that point. And it's like, you feel an atmospheric shift. You just, you're on 95, which I hope everybody's okay from the collapse of I-95 in Philly. It's been fucked up for a few months in Philly, crazy. But you're in 95 and you're looking at this gorgeous skyline and stadiums, beautiful bridge, beautiful riverfront. You come down 95, you get off the exit right there, and it's, hey, this still don't look too bad. You got a nice little playground here, nice little Irish bar on the corner. There's a little bus station, and then you go a little more, and then you start to see the effects of 40 years of drug use, abuse, sex crimes, violence. And you just it starts to culminate. It starts to collect. It's like collecting rainwater little by little as you get closer or deeper into Kensington. As you get closer to Kensington Avenue, you start to see it. You'll see your prostitutes, you'll see your homeless, and you'll see your addicts. You'll see your dealers. You'll start to see it as you under the L, as you're approaching, the hot spots. You'll see little pockets. But then you get a few blocks away and you are in something I don't think many Americans have ever seen, dealt with, maybe even Earth. Like hell with America. This might be an Earth thing. I mean, most people compare it to The Wire and their Amsterdam they had in that show. And it's just like, I think it's a little worse than that. Because it's the same thing. You'll see police stand on the corner and people are shooting right in their necks. And it's, what we're so used to is like, hey, that's fucking crime. Go get them. But we're starting to kind of understand shit a little more. And can we truly arrest every addict? No, the prisons are already full enough with fucking people who don't really truly belong there. So it's prison doesn't get people to recover. Famous Amos in the building. But I think that's an issue. People see an addict and they go, well, lock them up. And it's like, one, people just say lock them up without realizing that every time that's a tax burden on the taxpayer. Also, with 2 million people in this country arrested, I don't know how confident I am in the system. This is clearly a system that's pay to play. Now, do I want an addict in there that I know that's not going to do nothing? They'll still be an addict unless they get the proper treatments. And 9 times out of 10, people come out of prison more hardened than when they went in. Famous movie Blow, Johnny Depp, playing Boston George. And he says in the movie, I went in with a degree in marijuana and I came out with a master's in cocaine. And that happens to so many. I know people this has happened to, where they went in as a fucking teenage weed dealer, and then through going through that system so much, now they're a crack dealer. Now they're a heroin dealer. You know, it's endless. It's just a vicious cycle. And that's what I ask people to, I implore people, like, try to research a little more, if you will. Like, try to find out what's going on a little bit. Read a book, you know, watch a documentary. Try to, you can't just say lock them up. When we see these homeless encampments, that's what they kick them out of there. He's homeless, get a job. What am I going to put on the application? 1, 2, 3 to park bench. Like, people are just so fucking dumb this day and age. They're so hateful that it breeds that idiocracy. It's just, it's crazy. There's such a level of hate. There's a satanic panic like there was in the 80s right now, where people think everyone's a devil worshiper, all this LGBTQ plus fucking everything in the media, and it's all the devil. And why are we fucking regressing? Why are we going backwards? That's what I need to know. Like, why are we going backwards, where now all of a sudden everyone's a devil worshiper again, and fucking, you know, Roe v. Wade was overturned, where certain states a woman doesn't have the right to an abortion. And it's where, no matter where you stand on that platform, you have to, if you're an American, you should care about American individual freedoms, just like you care about your own. You have to worry about the next Americans, because if they take theirs, they'll take yours. It's common fucking sense. But I say that to everybody, no matter where you fall on the abortion topic, no matter where you fall on LGBTQ plus, let's say, rights, no matter where you fall on that, as an American, or someone that believes in the American system, let me be specific, you kind of got to, you know, I understand, for me to have rights, so does every other person that's born, bred in this fucking country. And there's such a backslide. Thursday, exactly. It's, you know, I ask everybody, you know, if I bring up, pardon me on the word, I don't want to misidentify anybody, on drag queens. They say these drag queens are trying to read books to kids in schools, and drag queens are trying to take our schools over, I'll tell you that, my Budweiser. But it's like, why don't we ever see this? I hear about it all the time, and I've told people this with many things in the last few years. Oh, well, what about this? Okay, I hear a lot of people talk about it, but I don't see it. I see TV trying to include people, and people backing off and going, that's all they're talking about. And it's got a magnifying glass on it, yes. And some do take advantage of that, yes. However, to say everything, to fear that they're gonna, like, they're trying to turn your kids to a trans person, it's like, so you have no control over what happens in your child's life, is what you're trying to tell me? You have no control over educating your child on your beliefs, the beliefs of everyone, and trying to discover their belief system. It's just the school, just what your teachers teach your kids. So when I see these things, it gets to me. I see people post, all the crime happens in Democrat cities. It's kind of a coincidence that all the biggest cities are also Democratic cities. So of course that's going to happen. There's going to be more crime in Philadelphia with 2 million people than there's going to be in fucking Boise, Idaho with their 400,000 people. It's simple math, and these scare tactics used by the media to fucking divide everybody. And it hurts you, because you're like, yo, certain people, you're like, well, I thought you were fucking more hip to the game than to be used like this, you know. So it bothers you. It's discouraging. You see people who you respect, or you expect them, you know, I'm American, we need our fucking rights. All right, well, let's leave abortion alone. Whoa, let's wait a minute. No, you just said, like, our rights are our rights. Like I said, I don't think it matters where you lie. Everyone has a different opinion on abortion. Let's keep that a buck. Like, let's keep that all the way 100. There's probably 1,000 different fucking opinions on abortion, and I don't think any of them are wrong. I will say these things. It should not be used as birth control. Totally agree. We make condoms. We make day after pill. You do not need an elaborate surgery. As me and Kel's had a miscarriage, I've never had a girl get an abortion. Kel's never had an abortion. But on that same token, if she wanted to, that would be something we'd have to discuss. It wouldn't be a open and closed subject. And I just feel like people don't realize, well, they didn't make it illegal. They made it up to the states. One, that's what the fuck it should have been already. But this is a law federally to be federally recognized. It just gets crazy. But like I said, there's so many different opinions on the topic. You're never going to be the right one. If I say life starts at conception, as some would say, some more religious people would say, some people will say life begins at egg and sperm, but they'll say that conception when the sperm meets the egg. Technically, they're right. It's life. Technically, they're wrong because the life cannot live without the mother. They're both right, both wrong. Like Pennsylvania, it's up to 24 weeks. I feel that's reasonable. Might not be though, because that's almost 6 fucking months. So on the same token, you start to put a rock on this scale, take a rock off that scale, put a rock, and we just American, when I say we, I mean we the people, we just fight over that middle ground. Do you understand? It's like everybody has all these different opinions and we're killing each other over the middle grounds. Whether you believe in a big conspiracy theory, whatever you want to fucking call it, us being divided is beneficial to I don't want it to sound too conspiracy. I was going to say to it, we'll just say our division can be profitable to an entity who has those intentions. We'll say it like that. We're not going to say the Illuminati, some big evil corporation. We're not going to do all that. We will say, however, it is highly fiscally acceptable to cause division. The Rothschild family paid for both sides of the French-Indian War, things of that nature. So there's money in that division. So for people to go, I don't know. Look, you don't have to believe that there's some fucking presidents and actors in a circle jerk plotting out what's going to happen. But you can sit around and fully acknowledge that people can benefit from this division, racial division, sexuality, spirituality, religion. There's so many things to divide us nowadays. We never pay attention to the similarities. Human, American, male, female, it's all change. So you can't even say, well, our differences of male and female. We're dealing with more of that right now. You can't say my race, white, black, Puerto Rican. We're dealing with more of that right now. So none of that's working anymore. So you're feeling that tug of war. You're feeling that tug of war. Let's check out the chat. Or if I hate that total libs or conservative government, but our government doesn't know shit about drug addiction, homelessness, or mental illness. I agree. My problem has always been the extreme left and the extreme right. You have one side that thinks, a woman's place is in the kitchen still, and then you have the other one that thinks, men are just violent. And how about we meet in the middle here, where man and wife work, they both respect and love each other? Like, mind fucking blowing concept here for you. But how about real equality? Can we try that one once? So, it gets so fucking crazy. LFN, my brother. See, Adair said life begins with sex. Like I said, I agree 100% where it's like you're right and you're wrong. Do you know what I mean? They aren't trying to make the morning after pill legal. I am hearing certain places are Thursday, like some of those more strict states. I've heard they are trying to, restrict and pull back. Ivy, thank you for listening. We appreciate you. And, you also got to acknowledge, guys, that some people's stances on abortion is religion-based and others is not religion-based because they might be atheist, agnostic, a different religion than you with different sets of beliefs. But, we're all fighting this different argument from different starting points. Some people are saying, hey man, that's murder. God's a fucking God, you know, God's gift. You don't get to do that. Then you have other people. If someone doesn't believe in God, they wouldn't hold to that standard. They're not going to think, you know, I'm killing one of God's children, because they don't feel like they're one of God's children necessarily, I'd imagine. Allegedly, hypothetically. But I mean, you know, these are the things that they don't get talked about enough, because when you start to talk about them, that's when people start fucking ripping each other's throats out, losing their minds. You can't have a, you know, productive conversation. We can't find that happy middle ground where we could say, where is somewhere where we could all agree? Like, that's what the government was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a group of representatives to represent every American and their best interests. That left. Now it's about the best interests of the corporation, or the business as a whole, if you will. I think a lot would need to change. I tell people this all the time. I think a major overhaul would be needed for any change, possibly a restart. Sometimes, I mean, you could, you know, it's a little pessimistic to think, but on the same token, when you start to again peel back that onion, you know, take the first layer off that onion, start looking at shit, and it's like, well, why aren't they fixing this problem because of this problem? Why aren't they fixing it? It's just so all tied up. You can't fix nothing. So it's, you know, it's cynical. It's a sad mind frame. It's very pessimistic, but it's also realistic. So you guys are kicking ass in the chat. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. We're just shooting the shit here, nothing special. I'm enjoying myself. I like to just go on these talks and have these talks with you guys. I enjoy them. So thank you guys for all listening. Live podcast, Convos. We'll stay on for just a little bit longer here. I got to make some phone calls before my love gets home. But yeah, it's the satanic panic of 2023. It just trips me out, man, because I know, like, I hear about the 80s. I was a kid, so I didn't get to really live it. But you know, the satanic panic of the 80s, people were calling Dungeons and Dragons players devil worshippers. And like, these are fucking nerds, bro. Like, these are nerds that play Dungeons and Dragons, and people were just, Satan's controlling our children to play this game. And it only takes a few carefully placed words, man. If they say these things in a couple places, nowadays people run with it. You say, hey, you fucking, oh man, that's Satan. Hey, that's Satan. Now all of a sudden people go, man, I heard that was Satan. You know, and you go, nah, man, that's not Satan. That's just how people in Sweden roll. You know, that's just how they rock. That's nope. Alex Jones told me it was Satan. What about the reality of robots coming an everyday thing with relatives? I think we've seen enough movies that motherfuckers need to stop playing around, Coco. I've seen Terminator more than enough to know what happens when you fuck around with Skynet. I'll tell you, John Connor did not die for this shit. That's what I'll tell you. John Connor did not die for this shit. And if you say John Connor didn't die, I will challenge you to go watch the last movie. But it's, you know, crazy nowadays how advanced AI is getting, how quickly it's advancing. And I think sometimes even Elon Musk is like, hey, I think it's time we take a pause. We're moving too fast. I think that's even surprising some people. And I think that should be the fucking hint. It's like, wow, AI is advancing very quickly. We have the ChatGPTs of the world that can write an entire thesis for you, and not plagiarize. Like, these are technologies we joked of 30 years ago. And I guess it's always been like that. You know, they say the touchable screen and things of that, a lot of that stuff all came from the Star Treks and the Star Wars, and that would spark people's imaginations to create. And, you know, necessity breeds innovation. So people need something, they're going to find a way. That's what we do as humans. I think people forget that. People get down on themselves and think they're good at nothing. And it's like, listen, there's something you're good at. You're just not finding the right something, or the right support system, the right people in your corner, and it's very important. They're saying nowadays people are getting very lonely. I think the issue with that is we've pushed work so much that people do, and it's hard to get in a relationship when you're 30 plus, men and women. And that's what we're seeing a lot of. A lot of people are like, I'm going to high school, I'm going to college, getting in my career. 30, I'll have kids. And it's like, okay, now you're 32, hitting the market. And no one wants that. No one wants, you're having issues. People find love at all different times. So, of course, but they're saying, nowadays, more younger people are lonelier than ever. I think a lot of that has to do with the internet. People become too attached. People can't put the phone down. No one watches regular TV no more. Things have changed. Let's keep it 100. I made a joke earlier about someone having a house phone. I haven't had a fucking house phone in 10 years. It was like, if you didn't have a house phone when I was a kid, you were fucked. Like, you had to have a house phone in the 80s. You're lucky you still didn't have a fucking rotary phone in the 80s. The Just Say No campaign had the worst slogan ever. I think, Amos, I think a lot of that was, I don't want to pin it all on the Reagans, Nancy, but Nancy was famous for that, obviously. I think they were still stuck in this okey doke age, I like to call it. A lot of people from the 50s got stuck in it. A great movie to prove it is Pleasantville with Reese Witherspoon and Tobey Maguire. They get sucked into their TV, into a 50s style show, and because of them being there and the influence of our day and age, so to speak, things start to become color, things that were black and white, And I feel like that in a microcosm, that kind of is what happened with America. You had World War II in the 40s. You had a lot of guys come home. Those guys that came home were making babies. You had the baby boom. And then that next generation, those 60s babies, those early 70s babies, you started to see the counterculture, civil rights movement. So you're coming from the 50s where first off, you're coming from the 50s where this country, let's keep it a buck. Anybody who was alive and an adult in the 50s, other than the fear of the Cold War, you had it probably the best in America financially. It's when the suburbs were built. It's when, we started to invest in things again, like gold. And, we were coming out of the war, so to speak. And it's, they had that run there for a few years. But then I think, like I said, as the counterculture started to hit, and the tapes have been released of Nixon telling his secretary, we're going to blame the heroin on the blacks, the marijuana on the hippie, the counterculture and the civil rights movements, to demonize them. There's the audio clips of this. You guys can find those. This is, not an exaggeration. These clips are available. And I think that's where the change, and people just didn't know how to handle each other. It went from dad works, mom's home with the kids, Junior's a good old chip off the block, plays baseball, dad goes to the lodge. What we watched on fucking Leave It to Beaver, us reasonable adults, no, that's fucking bullshit. It always was. I have a new iPhone and already Siri stopped working. That lazy bum Thursday. Tell her to get her ass to work. Right, but people are scared of sex too. Well, that's what it is, and it's everybody has, because of social media, we all have this false perception of what, to quote, make it is. You see people you have young girls out here that are starving themselves trying to match the body of someone that was photoshopped. Do you know what I mean? There's fucking 20-year-olds out here getting work done. Like, I will never understand why someone at 20 years old needs to get work done. I want anyone, Luzabego, salute, brother. I want everyone to feel their best. Yankees for life, salute, brother. So if you're 20 and you're like, I feel like my lips are small, I want bigger lips. Whatever floats your fucking boat. But Kimber, salute. A lot of these younger girls nowadays, they're really fucking their faces up for a false, they're chasing a false dream. It's fucking, a pipe dream. And we're all trying to aspire, all the men. Let's all get an 8-pack, be fucking Ryan Reynolds, get my hair cut this way. Women, I want to be Kim Kardashian. You're following these, quote, role models, killing yourself to try to fucking match something that's bullshit. That's fucking computer edited bullshit. Hope everybody's having a good night. Just trying to make sure we're caught up with the chat. When people started dying of AIDS, that put the kibosh on sex. That is so true. You had the 60s free love movement, and by the 90s, that shit was sniffed right in the butt, wasn't it? Same thing, the DARE, that almost lends itself to, you had a lot of heroin addicts, and then all of a sudden, now there's fentanyl out of nowhere. You had all these sex addicts. Now all of a sudden, there's this disease that's killing people. It's funny how those coincidences work, isn't it? It's just so ironic, don't you think? But it's, I digress. What can we do? You bitch and no one listens. You bitching that when they do listen, the people you need to listen don't listen. You can't organize. People have these ideas, but no one wants to. Everybody thinks they're the lead character. No one wants to be the supporting character. Listen, Jonah Hill won a fucking Oscar for Wolf of Wall Street, and Leonardo DiCaprio didn't. So just think about that one. Sometimes you got to be the supporting actor. You will not always be the George Clooney. You may be the Chris O'Donnell. We're going to play a few minutes of music here, guys. We'll be coming back to wrap up in a few minutes here. You guys have kicked ass this whole podcast. Live podcasts are not easy, and I appreciate your cooperation. We'll play Never Forget This. Salute, Weird World, salute. That was Never Forget This by yours truly, Dirty Kenzo Productions. I want to thank every one of you guys that came through for a short episode of Combos tonight. We wanted to get at least a 55-minute hour live in, and it rolled a lot smoother than I expected. Sometimes I have my little topics in mind, but I don't exactly know what I'm going to say, and you see I stutter sometimes and shit. But I appreciate you guys. You guys come through, you engage in the conversation, and that's really all we could ask for. I hope everybody has a great night. Take these good vibes with you forward. We will see you again, possibly Thursday on Cooking. Yeah, Thursday on Cooking with Kels. We should be coming back from spring break. Friday, Murph at 4:20 right here on the Dirty Kenzo, and then Nostalgic Breakfast Sunday morning, 10 a.m. right here on the Dirty Kenzo. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Glad we had a good time. Seeing you guys saying that in the chat. Couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much, and we will see you next Tuesday, not Monday, Thursday. I said Monday last time. We will see you next Tuesday for Convos, guys. I'll be right back with a final goodbye.
Often imitated, never duplicated. DirtyKenzo Productions.
Once again, guys, we will see you Thursday for the Thursday for the return of Cooking with Kels. Friday, Murph at 4:20. May still be up in the air, but try it. But do not miss Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Father's Day special on Nostalgic Breakfast. Appreciate you guys. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. Become a member on Patreon. Join the movement before it's moving. And make sure you follow Queen Kels on everything. My blushing bride, Queen Kels, Cooking with Kels, and all these great content creators that show a lot of love. The sponsors, the mods, the day ones. None of it's possible without you guys. And I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for everything. See you next time, guys. Peace.